Okay, welcome everybody to the 2024 Adult 40 and Over District Championship Captains Meeting. Thank you guys for being on, and thank you guys for captaining and organizing your teams all year. We know we couldn't do it without you, and you guys are kind of our lifeblood, so we appreciate it very much. I do have a PowerPoint presentation. I'll show it, and then but if you guys have any questions or you have anything that comes up, make sure you stop me and ask or throw it into the chat. I think once when I share my screen, I can't see the chat. I can't see if you've raised your hand, so you can just feel free to come off mute and let me know what questions you have. We want to make sure that you guys are good and prepared for this weekend and all set. So I see some faces I know, I see some faces I don't know. So go ahead and make sure that you do ask questions if you have them. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. There we go. Okay, so like I said, this is the 2024 Adult 40 and Over District Championship, and this is the captain's meeting for all the levels. I always like to throw in the national championship schedule. This year, the Adult 40 and Over National Championships for the 3-5s are October 18th through the 20th in Orlando. And then the 3-0s, 4-0s, and 4-5s are all October 25th, 26th, and 27th. Two of them in Arizona and one in Florida. So just check your calendar on that. And so you'll know where you need to go if you make it to nationals. So we have two districts this year. This is the first time that we've done districts this way. So we have a blue district and a white district. The blue district is Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Cape Cod, and Eastern Mass. And I'm the tournament director there. Each site will have its own site director. The white district is Southern, Eastern, Northern Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Western Mass. Charlie, I'm not sure I told you this, but you're the tournament director there. He'll be hanging out at Farmington Valley, so if you want to harass him, go there.
I'm sorry, Christy?
Yeah.
There's still some people in the waiting room, I think, if you could let them in. Is that an option? Sorry to interrupt.
Is that something that Laura or Charlie, can one of you guys do, or do I need to get out of the PowerPoint?
I don't see anyone in there.
I've got a screenshot on my text.
Yeah, I'm
She's
just
waiting to join the meeting when someone lets her in. Okay, I'll take her off. Maybe I'll put her on Zoom on mine. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
No problem. No, I don't want anybody to miss. So don't forget that because this is the first time that we've done this way, that the first and second place team in each district will advance to the section championship. So first and second place, champion and finalist, however you want to say it, the first and the second place team from each district goes to the section championship. So just some practical reminders, and for people that are new, just some things to expect. When you get to your site, when you first come in, we want you to get there before your first match at about 45 minutes early. Your players don't need to check in at the tournament desk. We just need you to come in as the captain, or if you have an acting captain, they can come up, talk to the site directors. We just need phone numbers if you have an acting captain, and just some contact information in case we need to get a hold of somebody. But that 45 minutes gives us time to chat and get any kind of, give you your lineup cards and player gifts. So just tell your players to come find you, and we just need to see your face, although we will always welcome saying hi to the players as they come by. For all the other matches, we just need your lineups 30 minutes early. So if your players can be there ready to go, if we can get you out early, we try. That way we keep on time as much as possible. We'll give you your lineup cards, so you don't have to worry about printing out any blank match cards. We give those to you. When you write down your players' names, please write their first and their last name, um, so that we can read it, and no nicknames. So we need it exactly as it is in Tennis Link, because we check for player eligibility by those. And what we have printed on the roster comes directly out of Tennis Link. So if it's, if somebody's name is Robert, please don't put Bob, actually put Robert on there so that we match up. It does get especially important if you have family members or people with the same last name. We need to make sure that the people that we put into Tennis Link as playing that match are the right people at the right times. So if you could help us with that, that would be really great. And then all the players need to provide a government issued ID prior to playing. So tell your players, when we call them to go onto the court, we just need to see their ID. They don't need to bring it to us when they first come in. We'll have the players come up, they'll meet each other, they'll meet their opponents. We'll give them the speech, what to expect, the format, and go over any questions that they have. And then we'll look at IDs and make sure that who's written on the lineup cards are the players that have come up to the front. That way there's no mistakes. That way everybody knows which court they're going on to, and everything's all set. There isn't any coaching of any kind. So please don't go on the court for any reason. And I highlighted this because a lot of times, if somebody needs a water, they'll signal to the windows, or they'll signal to you like, I need a water. And it logically makes sense that you can just go grab them a water and give it to them. But because this is a championship, and because we don't allow coaching, we don't know what's being said, please tell your players if they need water, if there's an injury, if there's any kind of a dispute. Somebody from the court needs to come to the tournament desk, not come to you guys. We just don't want any, we don't want it to even ever have any appearance of anybody that might be coaching. So just have them come up to us. They can always go off court and fill up their water bottles. They can go to the bathroom. They don't need to grab one of us for any of those things. But just make sure that you don't go onto the court for any reason. If somebody needs a water and we've got enough people and volunteers, we can take a water out to them, that kind of thing. Okay. A couple of other reminders. So this is a round robin format. So everybody's playing a round robin. And if there are multiple flights, then you'll be playing either a head-to-head, or I do believe in the white district that one of the levels is playing a round robin as a final, which is fantastic. You're going to play 2 out of 3 regular sets. That's with ad scoring. And if you split sets, you'll play a 10-point Komen tiebreak. If it gets to 6-all in either set, you'll play a 7-point Komen tiebreak. All of the information on the Komen tiebreak is in the link that you guys have. So have your players print it out, especially if they're not familiar with doing it or it's not something that they've done. There's no time limit at all, so you don't have to worry about match ending, procedures, any of that. The players are going to play until they're done, and then they're going to come to the tournament desk and they're going to report their scores. So please remind them to come report their scores. A lot of times they'll either sit on the court and try to watch, which we can't have them do, or they want to come and they want to talk to their friends, which is great. But we need them to report scores as soon as possible. And somebody from each team needs to report and initial that the score is correct. And that way, when you have to do your job at the end, which is to sign the scorecard, you know that your players have initialed that score is correct, and you can just kind of double check and make sure that it's what they told you and what you guys have been talking about. We don't put matches into Tennis Link until both captains have signed the final scorecard. We want to make sure that all the scores are correct, all the names are correct, everything is good to go before we put it in Tennis Link, so there are no questions once the scores are posted. Does anybody have any questions on any of that?
Christy?
Yeah.
I have a question about the format that you said right at the beginning.
Okay.
So you said that the top 2 teams, this is for 3-5, top 2 teams advance to sectionals. So on Sunday, how many teams would be playing? 4?
Are you in the white district or the blue district? I don't have the
Blue.
schedule in front of
Oh,
me.
we have, we're in blue and we have 4 flights.
Okay, so there's 4 flights, so whatever the schedule is, yeah, there'll be two semifinal matches. And then the winners of those semis will go to the championship, but I think I have you guys playing a head-to-head just as a final match.
So that's going to happen if there'll be a match at 8 a.m. and then the winners will play at noon, even though they both already are going to advance. So the results don't matter other than maybe placement at sectionals.
Yeah, sometimes teams, the more you play, the more people can get qualified and things like that. So, yeah, we did put that on the schedule. So, and this is, like I said, this is the first time that we've done that. So when we send out the survey at the end, if that's something that you would want changed in the future, please put that down. We're happy to, our championship subcommittee goes through all of the surveys to kind of make alterations in the future. I think we were thinking everybody would want to play that final match, so we put it on the
Okay. Thank you.
schedule. Yeah. So just like all of the championships in New England, we are a no default championship. That means everybody's expected to field all the lines throughout the championship. If for some reason you get there or somebody gets there and that they have an injury or an unexpected something and they're not able to field all the lines, then it's either the 1 singles would be defaulted or we default 3 doubles. We have to default from the bottom up. And that line would be defaulted through the entire round robin. So if you're in a 4-team flight, you've got 3 matches, you play your first 2, and for some reason, something happens and they can't show up for the 3rd match. That 3rd match is defaulted. The other 2 matches are reversed so that the other teams in the flight, nobody has a mathematical advantage. So just know how important it is to make sure that you can field all the lines. Try to have some extra people there just in case something does happen. We know a lot of people are traveling long ways, and it's hard to replace people if something does happen. So all that to say, if you are in a level that has multiple flights and you have a single line default and then your team advances to a playoff round, whether it's semis or finals, the lines reset, all the lines can be played on that advancing. And this is where I give you the we have a gray area speech about medical timeouts. Medical timeouts were originally created for championships that have, or for actually tournament players, tournaments that have referees, roving officials, and medical staff. And so the official rule is when you call somebody for a medical timeout, there's a period of evaluation. Once the evaluation ends, there's a maximum of 3 minutes treatment time, which is not to exceed 15 minutes. So the medical staff would have 12 minutes to evaluate. Nobody on your site directing or your tournament staff is any kind of a medical anything. So please grant us some grace on this time. And if you have somebody that gets injured, or if one of your opponents gets injured, first of all, make sure somebody from staff comes down to the court to check on the player. We want to make sure everything's okay. And from the time we get down there and talk to the player, we'll start a clock for a 3-minute treatment time, whether it's ice or if they just want to rest or put something on a cramp. But if you're in a location that has courts that take a long time to walk to, it might be more than 15 minutes. It might be a little less. So give us a little bit of space on that just to help us out. Know that if there's a bleeding incident, it could take longer depending on how long we have to clean it up and whether or not the club staff has things ready and available for us. So that also could be a little bit longer. And then medical conditions, the one that comes up a lot is cramps. So if somebody has cramps in their left leg and they take a medical timeout, they cannot take a medical timeout later for cramps in their right leg. Cramping is cramping, and if they need to stop at the end, if they cramp again, then they would need to retire from the match. So we hope things don't happen, but sometimes they do. And We want to make sure that anybody that does get injured or gets sick gets some kind of treatment, whether it's just to kind of help them either get some rest or some water or whatever it happens to be. So does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Oh, I heard a bang.
There is a hand raised, Maria.
Thank you. Are those 15 minutes a one-shot deal, or is it cumulative? So if you take a certain amount of time for an injury, but that's less than 15 minutes, and then you get another injury, can that also, is that a separate 15-minute time clock?
Yes, it would be a separate 15-minute time clock. Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm. I think you guys, most everybody knows now we have a national suspension point system, which just means if for some reason you get a code violation or a grievance filed against you that is upheld or one of your players, that the points are now national. So if for some reason you have a player that gets 10 points, which is a 3-month suspension, they would be suspended everywhere. They couldn't play in Florida. They can't go to Southern California and play. This is new as of like 2022. It used to just be section wide, but now it is a national initiative. So your tournament directors, your site directors are pseudo officials in the case that they can code violate if somebody has bad behavior, if something happens in the up near the desk or in the lobbies. They have the ability to code disqualify just like an official would. We also have the ability to file a grievance for any reason, sportsmanship, that would be adjudicated afterwards. So please, everybody, have your players be on their best behavior. And we know things are heightened during championship season. But if they have a dispute on court or off court that needs some attention, come get us before it escalates so that we can kind of handle everything and keep things down to a minimum. So new regulation as of this year is that the 3-strike disqualification form report is going to be run on Monday after the championship. It will not be run during the championship at all. So if you have self-rated or appeal rated players and they generate a 3rd strike during the championship, that will be taken care of on Monday. They would not be able to advance, but all matches that play will stand over the weekend. If you guys have questions on that, you can, if you want, feel free to reach out to me. I know that one, some people are really familiar with the 3-strike DQ and some aren't, but just know your computer rated players, it does not matter. It's just your self-rated and appeal rated players if they're playing higher than the level that they have self-rated at. And some fun stuff. We are always looking for photos. Our marketing department is small, and so they don't have the ability to come to all the clubs and grab photos. We would love to see photos of you, your team, people playing, people enjoying the tournament. And these folders are the blue and the white district. They're hyperlinked in here. You'll get access to them. You can share them. They are open, so you can just drop full photos in. It'd be really helpful if you can to caption them or write a little bit of something so that we know. And then if you've got a good story about your team or your journey to the championships, we would love to hear it. I love to see who wins and who comes in, but I think league play is so much more, and we don't have, we don't know the stories, and you guys do. So please tell us your stories. We would just love to hear them. I'd love to get more out on social about league play that is the true reason and the experiences that you guys all have. All right. Okay, some quick FAQs. So no courts are available for practice before or during the championship. So if you'd like to practice, you need to find courts at other facilities or in public parks. So we don't have enough facilities for everybody to practice, so we can't let anybody practice. Bathrooms and showers are open and available at all of the locations. There are no COVID protocols in place, but masks are optional on and off the courts. Please be respectful for people who do or do not wear masks. I saw a pretty good mix at the last championship of some people wearing masks and some. Just know that those are optional for everybody. Please bring your water and your snacks with you. Only clear liquids are allowed on court. Please don't take coffees or colored Gatorades. If something were to spill and stain the courts, we don't have the ability to clean that up. And then also make sure it's kind of a carry in, carry out. If you take snacks with you, make sure that your trash and everything else kind of goes out with you as well. So help us keep the clubs nice and clean. Alcohol is not allowed in all of the clubs. Many of the clubs, we don't moderate this at all. So we're going to leave, if you guys want to bring beers or wine cooler, whatever. I think I just showed my age. Please call the club ahead of time and ask them if they have a liquor license. They will not allow you to bring alcohol in. If they don't have a liquor license, sometimes they will. We're not going to monitor any of that. So we're going to leave that up to you to call and handle on your own. So does anybody have any other questions? Any questions?
I have a couple questions. This is Jill Telesco.
Yeah.
So I remember that we played district there 2 years ago, Farmington Valley. Do they have AC in the facility? I just can't remember if that was the place we played.
They do not have AC.
Okay, so though is okay. Just want to let my players know because some of them were asking that. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember they have. Okay, and then so for the bathroom break, I remember seeing something on the rules, on the regulations. It says that we can actually have unlimited number of bathroom break. It's just that between the sets there are like 2 minute breaks between each sets, but like people can go to bathrooms as needed. Am I right?
Yes, so that is also a very interesting gray area, is that we're not going to tell anybody they can't go to the bathroom at any time. You never know if somebody's having an emergency, but we also don't want people to take advantage of that and play gamesmanship. If somebody has taken a break and you think it's excessive or long, just talk to your tournament directors and they can talk to the other players and see if somebody's having, some kind of a medical emergency, if they need a medical timeout. But yes, if you have to go to the bathroom at any time, you are allowed to go to the bathroom anytime.
Good. Thank you so much. I might have missed this. For the start time, it's going to be, for the morning, I'm sure it will probably most likely start on time. But for the afternoon, would you call the start early if the earlier session finish early? Or the afternoon session will start as scheduled?
Maybe worth asking. She said,
and get the players there about 30 minutes early. And that way, if we do have open courts and everybody's ready, we can get you out early. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. It just kind of depends on how the championship is running and how the players are feeling. A lot of times players are ready to go out and ready to go early. So if we've got courts, we send people out.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so here's a few links for you guys, and I will send this as a PDF.
Christy, Charlie had his hand up for a moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Excuse me, didn't catch it. Sorry.
If the match at the end is 2 wins each for individual positions, tiebreakers, we should probably cover that for who wins the match.
Oh, and I don't have tiebreak in front of me. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to send it out to you guys.
Yeah,
it is individual position wins.
Well, that would be tied 2-2.
Then head to head.
No, fewest sets.
Fewest sets lost. Fewest games lost.
No.
Game winning
sorry.
percentage was what it was last year. This is for
It
an
has not
individual
changed.
match.
It hasn't changed, but head to head goes before fewer sets lost.
No, you're thinking about standings. We're talking about the match between two teams is tied 2-2. Then what do you do to decide who gets the team win? And then it's fewest sets lost, fewest games lost, game winning percentage, and then winner of number one doubles.
Okay, very good.
So that's what it was last year. I just wanted to make sure it was the same.
It has not changed. And I'll make sure that that's highlighted so everybody knows. That slipped out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it's in the regulations. I was looking at this year's regulations and I didn't see it. So I was like,
Yeah, I think that that's hard coded into Tennis Link.
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll send that out though for us with this link.
Yes, I will.
Okay,
Mhm.
awesome. That's great. So my question really quick is the schedules that we received, have there been any changes to those times at all? Or should we go with what was sent to us a few weeks ago?
So the link and on these important documents, the blue and the white, those links are live. So that is the most updated schedule. If there was a change, we emailed you.
Okay.
So sometimes there's a lag between the amount of time with these schedules that I send out and what's on Tennis Link. So go by the schedule that's printed
Okay.
on these links. But yeah,
Okay.
so we will let you know if there's a time or location change. We try to let you know as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Thank you.
When will the schedules be posted in the USTA app?
They should be either, Charlie, that might be a question for you. What, Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, we've been having a few changes here and there. So, but I think actually I could probably post them tonight.
Okay, because we have
Okay.
Because if we get a change, we're not going to change the schedule in Tennis Link at this point. It's just way too much trouble. So it'll just be the one on Showpad that changes.
So our flight
Okay.
changed a lot. We have two different teams than the original, and but the times are the same. So we should expect the times is what I'm most. We have a long commute, so I just want to make sure that the times aren't changing.
Yeah.
We'll post that.
You
Okay.
you can look at the link. That'll tell you.
I did, and that's how I found out. I actually didn't get an email, but I saw that we had different opponents for some of the matches. But I'm all set. I do have the most recent one. I printed it, so thank you.
Okay, good.
Wait, so just to confirm, this is Jill again, that we will have the access to the match schedule tonight from the Tennis Link? What link are we talking about?
So you have access to, on this page that says important links and I've sent it to you guys also earlier, whether you're white or blue district, all of those documents are live. So they're updated real time. They're the first things that we update. Charlie's going to try to publish Tennis Link tonight. So that would be on the app.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just one quick question again. I'm sorry. Sectionals, I know we got a couple emails about changing up the location. Do we know where is it going to be? I know that it says it's going to be in Eastern Massachusetts. Is there a location decided?
It's going to be the Winchester, Woburn, Bass River, Willows, Newburyport location.
One of those.
Yeah.
One of them. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we have a few important links. If you guys are new, we do have a captain's Facebook page. I've been a little slack on posting on the captain's Facebook page. I apologize. I will try to do better. We do have a captain and player hub, which has all kinds of information on it. Click through it. It has everything from your local leagues to championship information to timelines and national and grievance information. It has its challenges. So this is a Google site. It can't really be searched. So pop in and bookmark it. And then it's all updated with all the most recent information for local leagues and for championships.
I have a question in regard to people that were bumped to 4 or 5 in December. It was my understanding that they cannot play in championships, but they could help their team get there. Is that correct?
So for early start leagues, which are any leagues that start prior to year-end ratings, which is usually around the 1st of December. So those leagues that you guys play in that start in September, October, November, that play through the year, if somebody plays and they get bumped up, they can continue through the regular season, the regular local league, until the league is completed. They cannot play in championships.
Thank you so much for the clarity.
Yeah.
And one other question, you must have played in 2 regular season matches in order to play in championships, correct?
Yes, one can be a default, but that is correct. 2, and it doesn't matter what your rating type is. It's 2 matches and one can be a default. Okay, so we have, if you need some USTA New England gear, captain gear, cups, mugs, shirts, hats, we have an online store, and 10% of all of the proceeds go to our New England Tennis and Education Foundation. Those are hyperlinked in there too, if you want to pop around on those sites and kind of check out some of the other things we have. Those will be on as a part of this as well. And yeah, that's it for me. So I'm going to stop sharing. Maybe. Okay, I heard. Oh, go ahead, Esther.
Yes, I just wanted to make a quick comment for those of you that are going to be playing in the White District at East Hartford Racket Club. They're undergoing some construction at the moment, and so their parking is limited. And especially on Friday, it might be a little bit of a problem because the offices that are next door, the establishments that are next door might be busy, and you probably can't park there. Saturday and Sunday, it should be no problem. But you have to kind of go back behind the building to park. You're not allowed to park like on the wall, like near the building, and the front parking lot doesn't exist anymore. That's where the construction is happening. So I just want to encourage everybody that's going to be playing there, if possible, to carpool as much as you can.
Very good. Thank you. I knew they were working on pickleball in that front place. I didn't know when they were doing it. So
Yeah, it's going to
I
be
have a
ready soon.
question.
It's changed a lot in the last couple weeks.
wow. Yeah, go ahead, Mary Beth.
Oh, thank you. I'm sitting in for my friend Tom Nenowitz, who captains the 3-5 men's team 40 and over. Are there going to be 2 men's singles?
No, so this is 1 line of singles and 3 lines of doubles for
Thank
this
you.
championship. Mhm.
All right. Last year, I guess they had 2, and okay, 1 line of singles. Okay, great. Thank you.
Go ahead, Susan.
Hi, just 3 small questions. The matches aren't timed, right? Oops, no, they're not timed. Okay, somebody just responded to me now. Players do not have to play to districts, but okay. I'm not sure what you're asking about serves. Okay, so when we were at warm up in Maine for the 18 plus, our 2 times people told us that, like, where we typically play, it's 3 serves for the warm up. Like, that's all you get. 3 on both sides, like deuce and add. So a total of 6. Oh, well, like on my team, like on my side, right? Everybody gets 3 serves. Does that make sense to you?
So we don't monitor any of that. You have 10 minutes for a warm up.
But you have to,
but
you have-
you do have to include your serves in the warm up, no matter how many serves that is.
so, okay, that's a little, it's a, like, so then, but how do you agree as to how the 10 minutes are used, right? Like if I want to volley and they want to serve during the 10 minutes, I mean, I guess you just, I mean, they just insisted it was, that they got 6 serves. Each person got 6 serves.
That's not something that we monitored during championships. We let the players kind of figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have a conflict, if it becomes a point of contention, please
Okay.
get one of us. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's just better to be able to tell people, like, just work it out than, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a question, if I may.
Yes, please do.
It's Kat Brown. I'm a captain on the 3-5 from Rhode Island, and I did email Charlie about this, but I just wanted your input as well. There is a team in our bracket that is a 3-5 40 plus that played in 1 district already at the same level in Metro New York, and now they're playing in New England. And I just didn't know, what you consider championship, because they won districts. So wouldn't districts be considered championship level, or is that just sectionals? You know what I mean?
So if they played in Eastern and they're playing in New England, because it's 2 different sections, we're 2 different entities completely.
So they just but the same player is also, I don't know, it just seems very odd to me that so they'll pick their winner, but then say they win sectionals and they also win sectionals from New England, they're going to represent 2 sections at nationals?
No, then they have to choose which section they're going to go with.
I guess it seems awfully late at that juncture, because then they've already altered the path of other teams to get there, and then they have to forfeit 1. So it just seems very odd. So I just was curious about that.
So it's our policy, if for some reason the first place team chooses not to go for any reason, whether it happens to be to go with another section or they just can't go, we always offer that option to the second place team.
Okay.
But you do have to remember, as the second place team going to nationals, you are then also subject to move up, split up, which you would not be if you didn't go to nationals. The first place team is always going to be subject to move up, split up. So that would be just a choice the team would have to make if they were offered the option as a second place team.
Okay. I was just curious about that. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Sorry, it's Jill again. So I know that it's a 1 single and 3 doubles for the district and sectional on the district. And then once we go to the sectionals in Massachusetts, it's 2 singles and 3 doubles, correct?
It's 1 singles and 4 doubles.
1 singles and 4 doubles. Okay.
They got rid of the 2 singles for the adult 40 and over 5 or 6 years ago. So national, this is the first year that they're going to 1 singles and 4 doubles at the national level. So our section league committee opted to take our section championship to that, so the teams could be prepared.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also, I'm glad that we talked about, someone asked the questions about if the player moves up at the year end, they cannot play the championship. So I'm going to, I could check my players, right? On the tennis link, their rating. I don't think any of my players are coming this weekend are moved up, but I'm going to double check that tonight.
Yeah, and you can always touch base with your local league coordinator. They can help you out too on that.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Trudy.
Hi. My question is, if we have one player who adjusted, and so I don't know, is an adjust a strike? Does that count as a strike 1 when you do 3 strikes?
I think I understand what you mean by adjusted.
She moved up, she got bounced up, but it was she was that much above from a 3-5 to a 4-0, and we're 3-5, and she got adjusted back down to a 3-5. similarly, a few years ago when we were 3-0s, some of us got bumped to 3-5 when we asked to be moved back down again because we were playing with the same people and we were allowed. And we were never disqualified. But I'm wondering, like, with this new rule on a when you're at the championships weekend, this weekend coming, and like you're playing, you might win, but then you're saying on Monday you'll tell us maybe one player or two players were disqualified because they had 3 strikes.
So so that's called an appeal, and those appeal rated players are subject to strikes, but they have to be what's considered significantly out of level, and all of that's just a formula in Tennis Link. And so that could happen. Yeah. If they have to get 3 strikes, but your appeal itself is not considered a strike. The appeal
That's not a strike.
It is not considered a strike. That's just, you'd send in the appeal and it was granted.
So if she's already played 3 matches with our team, then she would have probably already gotten striked out.
I mean, that's possible, but sometimes you play 2 or 3 and you're within the range, and sometimes you play 2 or 3 and one's out, and one. It really depends on the algorithm. It's yeah. So, but we'll run it Monday and let everybody know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. I'm going to stop the recording.